the...
I'm not holding on. We're already live.
All right. Welcome to Dev Pirates Radio, where we challenge ourselves to push our limits and accomplish distinct development tasks on our way to making a fully functional game prototype. I suppose that's what we're doing right now.
Yep, that's our current task.
You can contact us at contact@devpirates.com for any questions or concerns or angry emails.
You can send the angry emails to whitehouse.gov.
Or Trump.com. I'm sure he's used to it.
Oh, that guy. Apparently he's been pissing people off ever since the shooting in Florida. Anyway.
All right.
Let's not
our previous tasks were you were going to take another stab at the HUD. And I was going to do a palette.
Yes. Why don't you go over your palette first, since the lighting is still building for me?
All right. So while your lighting is building, let me load up and share my screen. Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. Let's try not to bring my email to the forefront.
That's probably a good idea.
All right. So where'd it go? I don't want to register. Yes, I'm sure. I wouldn't have hit cancel if I wasn't sure. God. Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, those Mighty Morphing Power Rangers.
Oh, man. All right. So I have to go searching for my files. Oh, they're right there. Okay, so I started with this guy's named Dawnbringer32. I think this was like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 to 8 years ago.
Why is this palette popular?
It's popular because it covers a wide range of colors. You can do pretty much anything with this palette.
Do you do it using tricks of like mixing the pixels next to each other with those colors?
Yeah, you'll do a bit of pixel mixing, but it has enough raw colors that you don't necessarily have to do that. The other trick is you'll see like this dark purple can work against this blue right here and create different kinds of your eyes perceive them as different colors if you do it the right way, if you combine them the right way. They don't have to be like pixel alternate, like you don't have to do the checkerboard thing. They just they can just be colors can just be next to each other, and your eyes will perceive them as different. It's kind of like that that was this a blue dress or a white dress BS.
It's totally a white dress.
So I don't know. It looks like the colors are telling me one thing. I can see what the color value is if I take a sample of the colors.
What else matters? Stop trying to translate it. That's the problem. People were trying to see something that wasn't there. Just tell us about the picture colors as they were.
Yeah, well, your eyes try to translate, and that's how you can get away with a smaller palette. So what I did after that was I moved all of our assets. Well, I also had this other palette that I wanted to sample off of. I created this 32 color palette. Obviously, it's not as cool as Dawnbringers, but that wasn't really my intention. My intention was to bring in colors that I found appealing and I liked.
Okay.
And so I'm not going to replace his palette with this one because that would be insane.
Sure, you were just looking for something that had all the colors that you wanted and was, well, I don't know, diverse.
Yeah. And so here is, I moved all of the assets into one image. Obviously, I didn't do every single animation frame. I figured one frame was enough. And so I messed with the color palette quite a bit until I got what I wanted. Dawnbringers, if you look, doesn't really have any greens. Like this is the greenest green, but it's not a deep enough green. And our game has a lot of green.
Right.
So I used our green from mine, and I replaced some of the colors with that. So now we have these more green grass, which wasn't possible with Dawnbringer's base palette, and I have these bushes, which look a lot like a deeper green.
Mm-hmm.
But if you replace the palette, like I did with a 32 color palette, you shouldn't really notice too much difference. And with this, I don't think you will notice too much difference between what it was before and what it is now.
I didn't really notice much of a difference. Some of the parts of the sword and stuff, I think I can tell a slight difference.
Yeah.
But not really.
There's a slight difference with the sword. I made the leather. I changed it so we're using colors instead of like the leathery colors I had before. This is orange. This is red. This is dark orange. This is dark red. So it's kind of like alternates, but it gives it the overall feel of like a leather handle.
Yeah. Do you think that having this limited colors will help you in some ways, but make it slower for you to work in other ways?
I think it provides a good amount of skill in using colors in a more creative fashion, and that's good for any artist. You don't want to get stuck with trying to do pure colors.
Okay.
You want to learn how to use colors in a lot of different ways. And another thing that it kind of does is it kind of brings everything together visually. Like the eyes won't notice it initially, but this blue right here is the same as this blue right here. This blue right here is the same as this blue right here. This blue up here is the same as this blue right here. So you're gonna have everything's gonna be separated. Everything's gonna look different, but it's gonna be, I guess, more. I don't know what I want to say. Together.
Mm-hmm.
It won't. Everything will look like it belongs together easier. So while it will be harder to use fewer colors, it'll have everything be a lot more cohesive easier. I don't know if that makes too much sense.
I think I get what you're saying.
But you'll also notice here that I did use the checkerboard.
Mm-hmm. I didn't until you zoomed in.
And that is because I didn't want to use an extra green. Right now I'm using 3 greens, and that's about as many greens as I want to go. I also left 5 slots open for the future. This is more than what we need right now, all of these, but I think there are what we will need. And so I also left 5 open in case we need something different.
Okay.
And also some of these colors may change in the future, and when they do, I have a list. Old-fashioned paper list. Also, this is the palette it came out with. I also saved it off as its own image. And so this is our very own Endangered Kingdoms 32 palette. And so we will be making changes off the palette on this. And it looks like we may be stopped broadcasting. So far, so good. And a lot of these will probably have to be adjusted as we go along. But one of the things I want to keep, I wanted more red, so that's why I have this dark red that I put in or modified from Dawnbringers. Even Dawnbringer said that not every palette is going to be perfect. And so now I am stuck here babbling to myself because once again, we have a crash. And let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And there we go. Here is my list of colors. I also named them because I thought it's cute to name them. Also, there's a few holes in it. I don't know if you can see that, but my cat has attacked it. And so there it is. I am now talking to myself, and I am the worst person to continue a conversation by myself. Boring. I will go over the names of the colors. Black, white, blood, satin, rose, bubblegum, burnt, orange, navy, ocean. Don't know what that one is. Blue, sky, baby, icy, gold, banana, dirty, tan. And looks like I have to send Pete the link. And it still says it's live, so hopefully no one is actually watching this. And it says Pete Nixon is joining the video call. Cool.
Recording still going?
It says we're still live. It says we were live that whole time I was rambling to myself and being completely annoying.
Okay, cool.
And so now it's your turn.
Well, the lighting didn't build, so hold on one second. I'm not going to build the light. I'm going to just turn off some experimental stuff that I'm working on right now, so that it's not distracting. I apologize about the yelling. I have children.
That is no excuse.
Unacceptable, I know. Okay, so I worked on the HUD. And I'm sharing
I don't
my...
see anything sharing. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so when you hit play, you see that blurry 0. If I pick up this gold, it'll actually turn to 100. And when I move, it'll be blurry. If I get hit, I'll lose a piece of the pie, yada, yada, yada. So I actually made a quick cheat button to hurt myself. And keep
You
losing.
love hurting yourself.
I'm a masochist. So all the logic is there to handle losing these things, and I don't know why they get blurry. Anyway, probably should be able to do this, but I can't.
Well, we'll make the jumping shorter, and also when you remove the jumping at first. Why are you giving yourself this money?
Because I want to be rich. Anyway, so I got all that set up. We got to work on the blurriness. It really shouldn't be doing that. But if you look, I'm going to eject right here. If you look, the size of this thing is actually, oh, I forget, because I set it to move around with the camera, which is right up there. This thing's just itty bitty in the grand scheme of things. So all of the things are like 1 pixel off of the flat surface, if you can see that. I don't think you can. Anyway, so yeah, let me go into the logic real quick. Let's go to HUD. Yeah, HUD blueprint. Stop that. Okay.
Now I had graphics in there